Finally, we get a good Captain Rex figure at the 3¾ inch scale. How long did it take? Like 4, 5 different tries? But we're here, we made it, so let's talk about it. So they did release him single carded, which should make him easier to get. I thought they'd probably like put him in a multi-pack or something like they did last time. But this is apparently based off of his appearance in the Bad Batch, which like I don't know why they do that. The Bad Batch isn't even that relevant. It's not like people think of the Bad Batch before they think of the Clone Wars, so I don't know why they didn't just put the Clone Wars on there. So technically he's Commander Rex here, which is it sounds dumb. Nevertheless, it is a good card back. I think the image looks good. I think all of it looks pretty good. You do get the back where there's a description. It did take Hasbro about 20 years to make a good Clone Trooper mold. For a while, it's either been something that looks good but has very limited articulation, or something that has a lot of articulation but looks like garbage. Now we finally have the best of both worlds. I do really like this new Clone Trooper mold. I don't think it's perfect, but it is definitely the best that we've got so far. And so I don't really have a problem with it being repainted and reused over and over again. And even though it is pretty new, they are actually making consistent updates with it. Like now they have alternate heads instead of just removable helmets, which looks a whole lot better. But getting into the articulation, it's the same exact thing as we've seen with this mold. There's not really anything too special here. The shoulders are okay. I think the torso articulation is pretty good actually. Ball joints at the hips, the knees are decent, and you do get ankle rockers, which is a really important part of an action figure. I don't know why so many companies will refuse to put in ankle rockers at times, because it significantly limits, what you can get the figure to look like when it comes to posing and stuff like that. So it is important, and they do have it here. The biggest problem though is going to be with the head articulation. This pauldron it's a bit too thick, and I guess that's kind of understandable because at a small scale it'd be hard for them to make a really thin pauldron. But I wish they could have, because it does look a little bit disproportionate with the rest of the figure. It makes the head look kind of small, even though it's not really that small. And of course it limits the articulation a little bit. You can't really get a whole lot of side to side on there. You can get them to look down like okay amount, looking up not that great, so you are going to be hindered there a lot. The helmet sculpt though is actually pretty good. I do think the paint apps could have been like slightly better, just because like the lines like for the welding a bit too thick. Overall, it is a very good looking Captain Rex, certainly the best that we've gotten at this scale. And on my copy they printed the paint apps on correctly. Everything is symmetrical, so there's nothing to worry about there. They have been getting a lot better with their quality of the paint apps recently, which is nice, especially since we're paying basically 20 bucks a figure now. You can get that rangefinder to move up and down or all the way back. The rest of the figure does look pretty good. Again, it's that TVC Clone Trooper mold, so I think we have really good proportions here. I do wish that the soft goods could have like flared out a bit less, because they look a little bit like, normally you would expect it to kind of be like that, where it flows more with the shape of the body. Here they just kind of flare out and they look kind of cheap, like 2 sheets of paper were just stapled on there. Yeah, they don't curve a whole lot, which is not the best looking, but it could have been a whole lot worse. And this is a pretty clean looking Captain Rex. He doesn't have any battle damage on him, it looks like, which I don't really know if I like, because it does look very good, but as you can see on the card back, he's got more weathering, and I kind of prefer that look. But I really have nothing to say that's objectively bad about the way he looks. I think it's a very good looking figure, and I'm kind of proud of it, because they finally made a great looking Captain Rex after all these years. Even the Black Series looks a little bit goofy, but I would say this one, like, I can actually take seriously and like be proud that it's in my collection. So when it comes to the accessories, all we get here are the 2 blaster pistols, but we do also get an alternate head, which is going to be one of the main draws of this figure. I can just pop that on, and it is a pretty good looking head sculpt, but I still think the buzz cut on these figures does look very goofy. It just looks completely fake. There's a look at those blaster pistols, nothing too special about them, but aside from those, they're all that comes with this figure, and you can store them in the holsters that he has at his sides. I do think they are way too small. I don't know why they make some of these weapons so small. They do it with the Black Series as well, but it's very annoying. It looks bad. They need to stop doing it. That's gonna just about do it for this video. Just to recap, this is probably the best Captain Rex figure we've got since the Black Series one. I think they've done pretty much everything right with this, except for maybe a few tweaks that they could do to make it look a bit better. But overall, this is just a really awesome and fun figure to have. It is great that we finally get a good looking phase 2 Captain Rex. Hopefully we'll be getting a figure in his phase 1 armor soon, and we can finally be at ease knowing that we have a really good Captain Rex figure. I think that's been a concern for a really long time because he's such an important character, and we haven't had a great figure of him, a definitive figure of Captain Rex in this scale. And that's pretty much all I have to say about it. I really love it. I think it's great. I hope you guys enjoyed. As always, thanks for watching, and I will catch you in the next one.